Dan, there are a lot of things in this world that I am grateful for, but the most grateful that I am right now is for firm ground. Oh, yeah.
Really? Oh,
Firm ground. Yeah.
did you have a hard frost set in? Are you frozen down there or what?
We did have our first frost, but our ground is rock hard because we've been in a drought. And
Oh,
yeah, uh, that is probably the biggest blind spot I had when I put in my outdoor wood furnace. You don't fully appreciate how much wood it eats each year until you've experienced it. And that was, I set it out in the middle of my yard, and there's no road to truck wood in the middle of winter when you've run out in December. And you got a choice here. You can like start carrying it or wheelbarrowing it through a little mud trail, or try to get your truck stuck that to where you can't get it out come next spring.
yeah. It takes a pretty big woodshed to hold the amount of wood that you use up in one full heating season with an outdoor wood boiler.
Oh yeah. My woodshed, after I looked at it after it was built and then experienced our first year of using the outdoor wood furnace, it was a theoretical woodshed because it needed to be like 10 times bigger than what it is. Oh boy. Yeah, but I'm grateful for firm ground because I've been moving all my offcuts and all my uglies from my wood yard over to the woodshed for the outdoor wood furnace. And the ground, this late October, we have had no rain, and I've just been driving my truck anywhere and everywhere I need and just getting that woodshed as filled up as much as I can.
Wow, no rain in Ohio. That's something.
Yeah. We are we had so much on credit from the spring that
Yeah.
we're cashing it in here in the fall. I guess the fall foliage is supposed to be a big dud this year because of the drought. So we're not going to be getting our vibrant colors that we're used
No
to
fall
seeing.
colors. So have you started up? Have you fired up your outdoor wood furnace?
I have not.
Oh, you have
Have
not.
not. I we had it was 80 degrees a couple days ago. We're still it's been nice out. It's getting chilly at night. And these are the if you have the outdoor wood furnace, you know how problematic they can be when it's like not that cold out, not that hot out. Your fire goes out, and it just becomes a pain. And it's just been a common practice now over the years. I think we're going into year 18 with my outdoor wood furnace.
Ooh,
I usually go from Halloween to Easter.
I'm a little earlier. I start up beginning of, well, this year I started up when I got back from Bunyan. So the first week of October, and I usually go through the end of May.
Yeah.
But I'm burning right
Wow.
now. It's nice. It's cold up here. I mean, well, not
Yeah.
like cold, cold. It's 40s, 50s in the day or overnight, and some days it's maybe in the 60s. But I like to have it nice and warm in the house.
Yeah. We have this practice. I got a couple space heaters, and I think it's a sizable house, but if I could talk to my younger self, I would say don't buy a big house. But we got a real good deal. We bought this one off the bank, and we just occupy just little corners of this big house, and we use the space heaters. We use the space heaters in the bedrooms at night, and then one in the living room, and then we just turn them on, we turn them off. But then when that cold gets a grip, is when you get that furnace fired up. I remember a few times when I was out there in a driving rain and it's like 40 degrees out, trying to get that furnace fired up for the day.
Oh yeah, see that's what I don't wait. I get it going and then well I have mine in a shed, so I'm out of the elements, which is really nice, but I have that Crown Royal this year, the that I put in brand new. So
Yeah,
I'm enjoying having my house nice and toasty. And it's not going
yeah.
through that much wood. So it's
Does it heat your domestic hot water too?
yes, very
Okay.
hot.
So have you got a sense that it is more efficient than what you used to have? Yet
Yes. Yes it
it
is.
is.
Yep.
Wow. That must
Very
be
much
nice.
so. It's I don't put in that much wood like I used to, and I still do it twice a day, but I'm not putting in nearly as much as I would before.
Yeah. Mine is on record as being the most inefficient machine ever made on planet Earth. All the other inefficient boilers look up to this one. It is the
Oh yeah,
king.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. But I got into it cheap. I remember when we bought it, it was like the next ones that were affordable were the central boilers, and they were like $13,000. This was back in 2004. I don't know. The years all run together for me here. This one I bought $5,000 for everything, for the furnace, for the PEX, for the heat exchanger, for the thermostats, all that,
Everything you needed.
everything. Even the Romex came with it
Not too
because you
bad.
run. Do you have a power source that runs from your house out to your furnace underground?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think when
Yeah.
I put
Same
mine
here.
in when we built the house, everything delivered, installed, all the components, I think was around like 8,600, almost
Yeah.
9,000.
So how long have you been heating with wood?
This will be the 13th year.
Okay. So that predates your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Same here.
Yep.
Uh huh. So you must have. I don't know. We've never talked about this, Dan.
Uh-oh.
I'm saying, I don't know. I mean, like I said, we don't mail each other Christmas cards here, but I've gotten to know you and to like you, but we've never talked about this. So you um, got an outdoor wood furnace. I'm just curious why. Why did you go that route?
I wanted to burn wood because I knew it would save me money.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I had been, when we lived up here, I just remember before we built the house, we would go to like friends' houses and we'd go there during the winter and their house would be cold all the time. And then
Yeah.
they would say how, they like at night they gotta go adjust the thermostat and then they have to do that again during the day and they do all this stuff and still they were complaining about how high their heating bill was.
Uh huh.
And I was just like, I don't want to have to monitor the thermostat. I want to have a nice warm house. I'm putting in an outdoor wood boiler and I'm going to save myself all that money.
Yeah. Did you know what you were getting into though when you did it?
Oh yeah, cuz I grew up on the farm. We burned wood my whole life down on the farm
Yeah.
and there we burned a lot more wood just because we had the wood stove was in the basement. And so it was always, during the cold winter, it was like every 3 hours you're going downstairs to throw some pieces of wood in the stove.
Uh huh.
And I didn't
Yeah.
want
I
that.
didn't.
I didn't want to have to wood in the basement with a big mess. I wanted it to be outside, away from the house. And so the
Right.
wood boiler was the way to go.
Yeah. I did not know what I was getting into when I bought mine. I thought I did, but I didn't. And the wood consumption was the first holy cow. And then the other one was, but this wasn't a problem. The other one was you can't leave your house. You can't go on a vacation over the weekend and let the fire go out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that would have been a major uh-oh if we were one of these winter sports kind of families, that take everyone on a winter vacation to Vail, Colorado or something. So we didn't do that, but yeah, the big thing for me was, oh my gosh, it uses that much wood. Wow, this this is a lot of wood, man. Yeah, but talk about a quality of life, though. Oh, a warm house is just so important.
Yes. Very much
And the
so.
hottest shower in Northeast Ohio.
For as long as you want to
Oh
shower.
my gosh, yes. Gee whiz. So was firewood a hobby for you? Did you ever do it at all? I mean, I know you did growing up, but I mean, where you're living at your house, do you have a fireplace too, and you'd have a little bit of a firewood stash, or you just started it up when you got your outdoor wood furnace?
No, I always had like recreational firewood around for fire pits and stuff like that. We don't have a fireplace inside the house, but so
Oh,
everything I knew from, like I said, growing up on the farm how much wood is needed, and then with the boiler, I actually ended up almost using twice as much than what I was used to on the farm. So yeah,
uh-huh.
I've always just been, getting firewood from tree services, and I didn't start selling till maybe 6 years after I installed it
Uh-huh.
and built.
And you did that, you sold firewood as a hobbyist, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And then um that was just because the same thing with me too. I don't know how you are, but I just love my outdoor wood furnace. And I would go out in the middle of winter to feed it, and I would just stand out there and I would look at it. I would open the door and warm my hands, and I would just look at it. And I'd look at all this firewood, and there would be an occasional round of firewood. I remember cutting this one. I can tell you what day it was. I just loved it. And I love firewood. And when you're standing out there, it you start thinking, can I sell this stuff and make money? That's how the the rusty gears in my brain started about selling firewood. I had never ever considered being a firewood business, but selling firewood on the side, yes.
That was something that was sparked from your days with the wood boiler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, firewood isn't your hobby, it will become one if you get an outdoor wood furnace. I'm telling you that. Because you don't want to buy your firewood. I think that defeats the savings of that.
Potentially,
Because then,
yes.
yeah, you're not saving that much more than you would be just to turn your thermostat up on the wall of your house with pay the gas man.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of work, a lot of work. And if you don't think it's a lot of work, do a video that says you get free heat in your house and then start listening to the comments.
Correct. They will let you
Yeah,
know just how much it is.
they
But
will let you know.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had the other thing is that when we bought a lot and we cleared the land, so I had a lot of trees that I could process up for like my first 2 years, and then I would always end up having to go down to the farm to get some, and that's why it kind of like led me into the whole finding wood to be brought to my house from tree service companies.
Oh, wow. So when you bought a lot, you had a lot of firewood.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
And it was I did end up one time I bought a triaxle load, and then that's when I kind of started getting into the mindset of I'm going to sell half of this to pay for the cost
Yeah.
of the wood so I could technically still not have to pay for the wood to heat the house.
Yeah. Well, what I would do, because math is my strong suit, I would stand out in my woodshed and I would think about all of the wood that I have. And with the going rate of what firewood sells for in my area, what I could get for it, would it have been better or would I have been ahead if I would just make and sell firewood and then buy propane with it? Because we're not on the gas line out here. We had propane.
Oh, yes.
And I quickly came to the conclusion that the answer is no. It was worth more to me as firewood than it would be for money. But that was then, because between then and now, I had a lot of changes. And I allowed my brain to think of firewood differently than what a lot of other people do. So, the way I sell firewood now, the answer is, oh my gosh, yes. But I still heat with firewood. And that was like my motivation to get into selling firewood was that if I didn't sell a single stick of firewood, I'm technically not out anything because I can still burn it to heat my house.
There you go. Exactly. My thought as well. That's what I kind of had those same thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then what I didn't know at that time though is that it is practically impossible to not sell firewood.
Did you run into where you sold all of your firewood and you're like, oh crap, now what am I going to heat my house with?
Yeah. Yeah, well, if anyone sells firewood, and that should be the first clue. Well, so I'm running a risk here because everyone does what they want, and that's good enough for me. And whatever your goals are, whatever you want to do, go for it. If you just want to sell wood, just to sell it, but when you want to make a living out of it, you'll start looking at things differently. But when you wanna make a living, you try to do things differently, and you don't want to sell wood the way everyone else does. At least I didn't, because I didn't want to have to work that hard. Firewood's a labor-intensive operation, if you haven't noticed.
It is very labor intensive. Yes, indeed. But you don't sell the same type of wood that you also burn, right? Like, because when I kind of started, I kind of did the same thing. Like, I would split everything that I could either sell or burn myself. But I think some people, I think maybe you're the instance there where like you kind of have to separate out what you burn and what you sell, right?
Yeah, that's what I had learned too. Is the wood that goes into an outdoor wood boiler isn't worth as much as wood that would go into a bundle or go into a restaurant. The smaller the split, that's another maxim here. The smaller the split, the more money your firewood is worth. So, when you think of all the wood that I had to sell and what someone would give me money for it, it was because it was boiler wood.
Yep.
And yeah, if you want to make a living out of it, I just know the labor that went into it. I hadn't at that point bought any firewood yet. It wasn't until much later when I bought my first triaxle load, and that's when my wheels started really grinding because I knew about how much time and effort it took for me to load up my truck and go out into the woods and haul back wood, because you can only bring back so much in an 8-foot bed versus having all of that wood brought to you. And yes, you got to pay for it, but there's that convenience and how much more productive that you can be. And then when I first got into my first processor, which was a Dyna 12, that's where it was all like this evolution and thought for me. I had an idea, but I just kept at it. And one problem led to a solution. That solution led to another problem. But then I quickly started thinking, I can make a living out of this because I'm not going to sell it the way everyone else does. I'm going to sell it differently. And 8 years later, that is, Dan, here's something. My 8-year anniversary of selling my first commercial firewood delivery was yesterday. How about that?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for 8 years now, and it's my livelihood. So like, okay, I'm a YouTube channel, but my firewood delivery service, I'm 4x, sometimes 5x more in sales a month than I get from YouTube. There at first, when you're growing, I mean, what the heck? If you're in business for 8 years and you can't make it sustainable, that's a clue.
Yep.
My goal isn't for chump change or for a hobby. It's a livelihood. It's how I keep the house. So if anyone out there ever tells you differently, they just don't know what they're talking about, or they lack the ability to see things critically. Because if you were to walk into my wood yard and see how much wood that I rotate, and you're used to seeing big volumes of stuff, you're probably going to say, oh my gosh, this guy. But, if you are able to see it and do it the way that I'm doing it, it makes sense. Volume, no. Margin, yes.
Ah, yes. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I always had the approach of side hustle, hobby, nothing full time with firewood. And then that led me into the hobby roadside stand, which then led me into YouTube world, which now has led me into content creator slash firewood maker. Like so,
Hobbyist.
yes. So it's still a side hustle, but I'm actually, and now even evolved even further into the regular size normal firewood I make. Almost 90% of it is all just for my own personal use. And now, I've shifted to the mini firewood as my main, I guess, side
Yeah.
hustle.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with that though. That to me looks to be it could be a growing, sustainable business. But like I said, to each their own. Some like I had met with a franchise or E, the one that owns the franchise. He spoke with me about my business model. He thought this is great. You're onto something, Joe. But I just don't feel like doing it. He was telling me what I could do to franchise my business, and I just don't want to do it. That's where, if I was more ambitious, or if that was something I wanted to do, then yes. But the benefit with me, it was being self-employed and being able to live a life the way I want to. I got to every single one of my daughter's college softball games, and my younger daughter's, she was a runner, a track meet, and then she was on the rowing team at her university. So we went to all of her rowing. She was on the one race was on this pond in New York City across the river, and I'm watching her on rowing with the Manhattan skyline in the background.
Ah,
And if
nice.
I was working in my cubicle, I wouldn't have been able to go.
Yep.
And so all of that stuff to me is priceless. So being able to be in a position to where I'm, these kids, they grow up so fast anyways, but here I was able to do all that, and firewood fueled that.
Ooh, firewood was the fuel.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I used to say, when I first started, when you start off with a business, unless you just strike gold at first, it took a while in building, because I have 23 restaurants now that I deliver to. I can't keep up. My volume, my wood yard, I can only get so many logs. I've added another supplier. I got a guy that makes wood for me. So I got two big producers for me. And I got a second truck. I'm just living the life here, but it is still not to where it's not wearing me out. It's still enjoyable. I can take time off here to record the Hounds podcast on your favorite streaming service.
Yes.
And it's all started from an outdoor wood furnace. And I just enjoy this. And I think that's what, like with YouTube. So YouTube with me happened as an accident too. And I admit, when it first started, you have like I don't know if you remember Looney Tunes, the guy that found the singing frog, and he had like dollar signs coming out of his head. I think everyone experiences that if you have some success with YouTube, but then you learn right away, it's not chump change, but it's not life changing money. I'll take it. But my firewood business grew independently of it. I had always said that they were on the same upward trajectory, but not anymore. Um, I think I couldn't tell you my total number of customers. I think my invoices are into 2000s right now. But out of all my deliveries, I think only probably two or three customers were found me, because of YouTube,
Yeah,
and I
you weren't
delivered to them.
using it
This
for
was
marketing.
no, no, it was all independent of that. Yeah. So, but that all started with an outdoor wood furnace.
Yeah.
Funny how that
Kind of
happened.
crazy.
Uh huh.
Kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
And just think, Dan, had you not got that outdoor wood furnace, you may not be the world's most famous hobbyist
Geez,
of firewood.
we're gonna have that jingle all over the place on this episode.
What jingle?
Yeah,
What are you talking about? Yeah.
crazy, crazy stuff. How one little thing just sets you down a path, and then everything that comes up after that is you can kind of trace back to that old outdoor wood furnace.
Yeah. The Hardy H2.
I had the Woodmaster 4400, but no more. Now it's the Crown Royal Stove 7300 MP.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Hardy H2 is a German word which means inefficient. Yeah.
Or maybe you're just not burning, nice seasoned firewood.
No. I can look out my window at night and it is shooting a flame out the smokestack. It looks
Oh
like a
my.
blowtorch. Yeah, it does. If you were to climb up and look straight down the smokestack, you can look right into the firebox.
Yeah. Well, they're,
Yeah.
I mean, just traditionally by design, that's how they always. They've made a lot of improvements though, over the course
Oh
of
yeah.
the years. But yeah, those
Yeah.
older ones. My Woodmaster was the same way. I mean, it would eat through wood like crazy.
But they're fussy though. You can't burn the garbage that you're used to burning in an outdoor wood furnace.
Yeah.
Because I know if it fits in the door in mine, it goes in, you know. And I know there's people out here where I live that you've heard they've burned their garbage in it. They burn shingles,
Oh man.
all sorts of stuff in them. Yeah. They're not very neighborly. Yeah. It'd pay that you not have neighbors with an
Depending on
outdoor
which
wood
way the
furnace.
wind blows, they're not very neighborly.
Yeah. Or if they don't like you, they're really not going to like you after you install it. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh. All right, Dan. This was fun. I finally got to know a little bit more about you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more where that came from.
You're such a complex person. Huh?
There's a whole lot more in the vault of unknowns.
Yeah. Everything you need to know about Dan from Back 40 Firewood is in his woodshed. To know Dan's woodshed is to know Dan.
Well, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it was interesting to, like I said, just kind of trace that back to how things the outdoor wood furnace.
Yeah.
That's that's the other thing is boiler or furnace. I'm trying to transition myself to saying furnace because boiler everyone I don't know
Yeah.
they don't like that term.
I would get corrected on my videos because I call an outdoor wood furnace. They say that's a boiler, it's not a furnace, but I would show you the decal on the side of it that says it's a furnace. So call it what
Yeah,
you want. Yeah.
there you
And it's
go.
not boiling it, it's under boiling temperature.
Yes, that's the confusing part.
Unpressurized. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Dan. Well, this was fun. And how about let's thank everyone for tuning in and listening to the Woodhounds podcast, the #1 firewood podcast in the world, as we strike up the band.
There you go. And you can find us on your favorite streaming service, whatever you prefer to listen to us, or at thewoodhounds.com. And if you want to send us a message, you can email us at thewoodhounds@gmail.com.
Yeah. And put in the subject line for the hobbyist. Oh boy, complicating things here. All right, Dan. Well, let's tell everyone out there to fire up
Their wood furnace.
and open the door and
Go outside. I don't know.
I was going to say
the
shove
order
in the
wood
firewood.
furnace? Oh, toss in a log. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there you go. And while you're doing that, have
A great day.